mind?
I don't know that. No, John didn't actually even know that we are having a show today. So surprise everybody! Welcome to the Rinse. John didn't. John made his little thing this morning, and he was thinking, "Oh well, there's no episode of the Rinse tonight," and so he actually said that to everybody. Wait, Drew, you're muted though. Oh, you do know. Okay, sweet. I thought you were. Never mind. All right. Well, yeah. Welcome everybody. Went to a Dave Matthews Band concert this weekend. All the fun. I have my old man gripes about concerts, and I'm thinking that the rental chairs need to go at Deer Creek. I feel like we all just need to be sitting on the lawn or standing. The rental chairs.
There's going to be chairs.
Wait, what?
Did you say they rent chairs?
Yeah, like lawn chairs now.
How much do they?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never actually rented one, but the lawn is filled with like these lawn chairs now that are about, I don't know, 2 feet off the ground or so. But nobody ever takes them back to the spot after the show. So there's just like a freaking lawn full of empty chairs, and I'm waiting for the right band to come. And I mean, they're just going to be hucking them at people. The
right band?
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been a chair fight yet in the lawn at Deer Creek. So I'm going to call that as my guess is what's going to happen this year. But no, Deer Creek, they charge $25 to park now. So like I went 2 nights. That's $50 of just parking.
Yeah.
A little disappointed in that. But we have to help out all those the workers because of the ticket fees and the transaction fees and the
Isn't there a song? Isn't it is it Jackson Brown that has this song that's like an ode to the roadie?
Yeah. Oh, the on my way out.
Is it Jackson? Is it Jackson Brown?
Is. Yeah. Because it was the it goes into stay just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great song, Drew. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just.
No, and that's perfect. And again, I'm not religious. However, I feel like concerts are like my church. Like I get a rejuvenation when I go. I meet new people that are into the same kind of stuff as me.
You do drugs?
I'm sure there were a lot of drugs flowing this weekend. It's Dave. But no, I met new people. I was supposed to be holding a spot for like some of my friends, and they never showed. So I met new people, and it was just a wonderful time. But yeah, like I don't know. Drew, what was the last show you went to? At Deer Creek, I guess. God, it should not. Drew, you should come to Fish with me next week.
What? Fish?
The band. Yeah, come see the band Fish with me one time.
Is that like is that run like an antelope out of control band?
Out of control, yeah. You came out with Run Like an Antelope as the song, yeah, you should totally come then. Mark, well, that's a bit of a road trip for you, so I don't know.
Yeah. But the last concert that I saw at Deer Creek, I think was also the last concert I saw, and that would have been around 1997, 98. Moody Blues at Deer Creek with full orchestra.
Dude.
So and that's like the 8th or 9th time I'd seen them. Do they still have the seats under the
yeah, they got they have the pavilion seats. I don't like sitting under there. Like the sound is always weird to me. I prefer the lawn at Deer Creek, but what do you guys think? Moody Blues, man, that's an awesome band.
Pearl Jam. I think
only one guy left, Justin Hayward, and then everybody else died.
Oh, No, wait, Drew, you saw Pearl Jam there?
Huh?
Yes.
Okay, Drew saw Pearl Jam there. No, but Drew, yeah, you should totally try to come to fish at Deer Creek.
Fish.
Yeah, it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's just a perfect time. And Tracy in the chat, she
what
says,
month?
"Oh, July." So it's like the weekend after the 4th. And
A fish.
one is better. And Witty, I did not get the herp wild bear. Good looking out though. I appreciate it, you know.
Zoom in on that fucker, Brad. What the hell?
Huh?
No, seriously, you should get that checked out.
Get what checked out? Oh, it is hot as balls in here right now. Like my face is my face red right now?
No,
I
got
can't
something
tell.
on your lip. No, seriously, Brad. Yeah, like your bottom lip. You don't see it?
Mm-mm. I think you guys have Brad derangement syndrome, and you guys are just looking for things now
Maybe.
you know. And anyways, eventually I'll find the right drug to take away the lip thing then. So just always on the lookout for an anecdote, for antidote.
They can be the same, you know.
Apparently, yeah.
Kendall might have something for you.
Did you listen to any of Jerry and Brian on the WIBC last week?
Yes.
How was it? I didn't get a chance to, so it was just
they Jerry and Brian have great chemistry together.
But I feel like there's stuff that they don't talk about or like they won't address because I feel like that about
are you gonna harp on them about the 1776 fund that they're not talking about it?
Oh my, Drew, I'm going tomorrow to the Hammer and Nigel live show.
Where?
It's in Noblesville. And so I'm going, I might wear I might bring a sign that says talk about the 1776. I might make signs for that shit.
You should totally do that, Brad.
You just want to see me get my ass kicked by Hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yes, I do.
Good.
I can be completely honest about it.
No, as long as we're on the same page, I feel like that's a good one. I wanted to start this a new thing with all of us trying to agree on things. And so I have 4 things set up for this part. And it's, can we agree on this one that Thomas Massey has a point? So I'm going to play you a clip from Massey and also a tweet. But just seeing if we're all seeing the same things with our eyes, okay? Because a lot of the times I feel like we don't.
I think it's a distraction from our real problems. I think it's
ironic
that we control the House, the Senate,
that's horrible.
the Supreme Court, and the White House.
Hang on, I'm just going to move to the tweet then. Okay. It basically says the same thing. Okay. So Massey's tweet, and honestly what his video said too, was the irony of Republicans controlling all branches of government while bankrupting the country, starting a war, sending money to fraudulent programs, violating the Constitution, giving corporations immunity, but arguing that the biggest problem we have is stolen elections. Does Massey have a point on this?
I think so.
Drew, we'll start with you though, or you can defer to Mark if you'd like. I think the question has confused Drew, so we'll start with Mark.
I think Massey's right on that. Also, an added thing, I saw Massey flip things on a reporter coming up to him today, asking about improper things with a staff member years ago, and he goes, "Okay, but I asked you, are you into gay porn?" And this guy was from Fox News and starts backing away. It was really kind of cool. Yeah, I think Thomas Massey's right on that.
Nice, yeah. Wait, Drew, can you hear? I think Drew's lost. No, he can't hear us. Oh, okay. Well, I was kind of sad because now Drew. Let me see. How do you?
I totally agree with Massey on this.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I
Yes.
cannot
can.
hear a thing. I really can't hear you guys at all.
Like you can't even hear
I
us.
agree
like,
with
I'm
Massey
talking.
on most things, actually.
Good. Okay. So I guess then why is there this giant concern from the conservatives that there is this specter of communism, there's this issue with the left, there's this issue with Democrats. How is Massey correct if the establishment is saying it's not there?
I still can't hear you.
You're labeling and you're labeling several things, saying that they're conservatives that are saying this in response to Massey. I don't think that's accurate. Talking about people within the Trump administration. Two, like the establishment, I don't think they're the establishment. They're like newcomers on the scene, kind of. That aside, I think he's correct, but those are all diversions. So people won't pay attention to one, Epstein, because Epstein files relate not only to Trump and those people who have enabled him, but to the people who have the money in this country. I want to see the billionaires who are listed in those files that haven't been disclosed yet.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know that we're gonna ever see that, which is unfortunate, of course. But wait, let's see. Drew, try to come back out and come back in if you can, because if you can't hear us, I kind of want to just have the camera on Drew, looking confused about. See, because like right now he can't hear us. I think, right?
What's going on?
This is
I cannot hear anybody.
No, I know.
Thanks, Brad. Thank you. Is that what a deer in headlights looks like?
That was
What
good.
the
Yeah.
hell? I can't hear you guys. Should
No.
I jump out and come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get you back in. Okay. No, that was hilarious. All right.
Well, who's talking about huffing cans of Cool Whip? Wait a second. It's not Cool Whip that actually, it's like Ready Whip. Cool Whip's in the tub. You can't huff cans of that.
Oh yeah, no, you got to get like the kind with like the little air.
It's
or
nitrous
whip it.
in there. That's what you're trying to get.
Yeah, the
My
whippets.
God.
Basically, not that we condone anything like that at the rinse.
No,
drug,
not at all.
drug use is very personal, and so it's should be to each their own. One of the other things I wanted to do too is just my whole case of Trump derangement syndrome has been going on for quite some time, and I feel like I've had some sort of a resurgence. You can't ever get rid of herpes too, according to Whitty. And I don't know that I'm ever going to get rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. It's going to be around and around. If I'm off antibiotics, it's going to come back just like the herp. It's basically the same thing, I think, at this point. So,
Stays with you like luggage.
It does. How's Iran coming along for the country, Drew? Like, how do you? Now I'm into my TDS stuff, and I've just been looking. I have a Truth Social account. Just
why?
Well, just for Trump, to be honest, because I get worried that when I see Truth Socials shared, like on Twitter or whatever, that they're not actually accurate. Because Trump, he does say dumb stuff, but some of the things that I see him tweet, I'm like, well, no, I need to make sure it's actually him. So I got a Truth Social account.
Sure you copy it. Copy it or download it before somebody can erase it.
No, and that's basically what I do. So I just take screenshots from Truth Social because I don't want to trust, idiots on Facebook or Twitter that might try to share something that'll make Trump look even worse. But again, he's his own worst enemy. He doesn't need help looking like an idiot. And so this was back in June. He's talking about, the U.S. will be hitting Iran very hard tonight. If you recall that, later on that day, he talks about, now he's not going to do it. He's saying that, the Republic of Iran has brought the highest level of Iranian leadership and improved. All this stuff is just kind of like window dressing. And this one, too, it has him saying it June 23rd. So this is this week. I have Iran on the ropes, ready to go down for the fall. Like, okay. Drew, like, what is...
What do you want me to decipher that?
Yeah, because shouldn't Iran have already been TKO'd? According to the boxing metaphors that Trump is trying to make happen here?
I mean, I'm not a military expert or anything like that, but yeah, it's 5D chess, Brad. That's it.
Get the hell, Drew.
No, man, I don't know what the hell that dude's doing. I don't know if he does either. Scary fucking times.
All right, fair enough. I love the bluntness from Drew on this. See, and Drew, but I feel like that's what needs to happen more often is, like, people like me, I can't, it's just white noise. Like, you hear me complaining about Trump, about the pool or Iran or the Kennedy Center or the tariffs, anything.
Complains about, right?
Wait, what?
I said any random number of things that you usually complain about. Micah, what else? 1776 fund. You
But I
complain
don't know that those are derangement syndromes. Those are all like in the news all the time, and he's not like shying away from it. He's actually, advertising it. He's making tweets about the pond or the reflection pool. He's making tweets about everything. So this isn't just coming out of like I have nothing to do kind of a mentality. But
there's precedent for this, and it's in literature, and it's from when Calvin and Hobbes did the duplicator machine. So there are like 8 or 9 Calvins walking around, all saying different things, and that was as much of a parallel as I can see to this. So Trump might be a cartoon, and there are 8 or 9 of him walking around. That'd be really a grotesque cartoon.
So Calvin and Hobbes is literature now, Mark?
Sure
it is. Oh my God, Drew. Like, yeah. Are you one of those guys who is like says like comic books isn't reading or graphic novels aren't reading? It's all reading.
I mean, technically it is reading, right? I mean,
Watchmen is literature.
Calvin and Hobbes, but Calvin and Hobbes had some good old fashioned. And that's the thing. It's not woke leftist.
So did Dilbert.
It's Calvin and Hobbes.
And Dilbert.
Yeah.
No,
Calvin and Hobbes is like Thomas Nast. Thomas
Yeah.
Nast cartoons from the late 1800s.
No. Drew, okay, let me ask you guys about this with my TDS going on. Drew, I'm gonna play an audio or like a video clip. It might not be loud enough though, but this is about Trump. He was asked during a meeting about the elementary school bombing, or like that was blown up in Iran, and this is his response.
Look, you have to say he's courageous. He's got great equipment, but he's got great men. He's got fighters.
And can I ask you one other question? Yeah. Have you seen the report into the Minad school attack, sir? And can you tell us?
I have not seen it, no.
Why not?
At some point, well, I have to wait for it to be complete. I don't know that they're ever going to solve that problem. I mean, you could ask Pete, but I don't know that they're going to say it was one of our missiles. Pete, I don't know that they're ever going to solve that problem in terms of whose fault was it? Because there were missiles flying all over the place.
So you won't accept
and it's
that?
horrible what happened. but there were missiles flying all over the place. And somebody said it was our missile. Well, maybe it wasn't our missile, but I've seen nothing to lead me to believe it was. There were plenty of missiles being flown by other people. What do you think, Pete?
All right, so Trump is going with the argument that there were a lot of missiles flying around. And
He said
how
they were flown by other people. Did you hear him say
there-
the missile was flown? Is somebody writing?
No, and that's what I mean. Like, so I guess my first question is, how do we not know what we hit? Like, when we do hit something and
Can we have a time frame on that? How long after the school was hit? Asked this question.
Oh, this was this week. This question.
This was this week.
Yeah.
And then he's talking about the school where it has already been determined that it was our missile. That
but
one.
But we haven't determined that. Like,
Everybody else did.
I thought we did.
No. Like, we're still investigating it. Like, Hegseth, because even right then, like, that's why Trump kind of pushes it off to Hegseth and says, let's see how the investigation turns out. And
if they're still investigating it, then I see his point. I mean, I wish they would put this much effort into finding the Epstein files. That'd be nice.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's all just a shell game of let's worry about this week. And so everything else is on the back burners.
Like wag the dog.
Yeah. And then when something else comes up, hey, now the communists are coming back to take over everything. So let's freak everybody out about that. And then
the next thing's Cuba. They're going to invade Cuba for too long. Wouldn't surprise me.
And why?
Cigars.
I'd go down there to play golf.
Oh, exactly.
Cigars.
Like, I mean, it makes sense to like have that place to visit or like open that up, but I don't understand why it's our fight.
It's not.
Okay, but Rubio is from there. I mean, his family is from there. He was born here, or else he couldn't run for president, although I don't think anybody cares about that right at this point. But there's a lot of pressure also from people with whom Trump grew up and observing their business circles. In other words, the mob. They really enjoyed having a place 90 miles away that they owned as a country. And so when Castro overthrew it, and Castro wasn't a nice guy, but he overthrew the government of Batista, who had been a reformer when he came in, then turned into a dictator. So all these mob people are dead now, but their descendants would like to have that money back. People who came here who had worked with Batista and stuff, they'd like to get back there and try to claim something, which is all silly. They could have resolved the whole thing in terms of capitalism versus communism. All they had to do was put 2 Major League Baseball franchises down there. One in Havana, and one, I think it is it Santiago or Valparaiso? It's the eastern end of the country. So they'd have a rivalry between 2 teams, as they always did, classically, and they'd be in Major League Baseball. And you would see those fans going into those ballparks, and it would completely just kind of, it would be a peaceful resolution to things. And we could take a franchise that nobody really cares about, like the Yankees, send them down there.
White Sox. Then the White Sox or that other up there.
The White Sox, whoever they are.
But I was thinking about that, like, though, Mark, that is actually really great.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
totally.
like if you tag it with the MLB because but I'm
for the job of Cubs general manager.
I'd be afraid though that like Havana's team would just like clean up.
No. The important thing to remember is they're not going to get all their players from there because they'll be in the major league system, but they'll have their fans.
We already have Cuban players.
Oh yeah.
No, but they're playing for teams up here, Drew. And it wouldn't be like we got teams now, they're from our country, we get to have them back any more than somebody from like Michigan goes, well, I might be playing for the Yankees, but Detroit has a good team this year. I'll go play for them. That's not the hang up. So it's like if the people had the 2 teams down there, you would see really, really in a couple of years, yeah, there'd be players from there they'd be playing on their teams, but also people from up here playing for the teams, you know, plus the cigars.
No, that makes total sense though. I mean, like, uh, yeah, I think that's actually really just a great idea.
That's a brilliant idea, actually.
It makes way more sense than trying to like take them over. Like, I don't even know what a military takeover of Cuba would look like.
No, we tried it about a dozen times.
Well, I mean, Trump probably already has them on the ropes, you know, in his head.
Same as Iran.
Yeah, exactly. God, I freaking hate that guy.
Yeah, plus they'd have cigars. You cannot duplicate what they do with tobacco and everything in Cuba. They've tried. There's this little section down there that is just awesome. They're really fantastic cigars. What can I say?
No, that's what I've heard. I haven't. I don't know. Cigars make me lightheaded. I can't. Anything tobacco is just bad for me.
It's beyond tobacco. It's a Cuban cigar.
See, and there it
is. It's. I think it was Kipling said a cigar is a smoke. It was trying to emphasize the quality of the cigar, and it's like I was an alumni reunion at DePaul. I'm sitting out on East College lawn, and apparently they don't allow smoking outside in Greencastle at all. But as the bartender there told me, it goes, "This is an alumni weekend, and you're a DePaul alum, so you could probably murder somebody and it'd be okay as long as you're staying on university property." So I'm sitting there smoking this. This was about 7, 8 years ago. I'm sitting there smoking this Churchill. I mean, it's a really wonderful Cuban cigar. And like a couple of older alums would walk by and smile, and I'd say hello. Younger alums would walk by and go like, I'd say, "It's a blonde." Okay. The thing is, I would never.
Did you shake your fists at them, Mark? Like, were you like, you know, the old man yelling at the cloud at that point? Like, you kids don't know.
I would not destroy a wonderful Cuban cigar by putting marijuana in it.
Oh God, no. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can do it, but what you have to do is take the outside leaf and you
it's
cut
destroying the cigar and the tobacco and everything. You won't
yeah.
do that.
No, you do that with Swishers, guys. You don't do that with Cubans.
It can be done. It can be done.
Can I ask you guys a question? Like, well, okay, so this tweet that Trump put here, I had a really big issue with this in the first sentence, and it's basically the fact that Trump used the quote unquote on rules, like they are optional. It looks like.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like, God, I hate when you say that, Drew, because like it sounds about right for who he is, but not for what the office that he is in.
When do you think the last good president that we had was? Mark, I know you're gonna answer.
Oh,
let's not go there because that's a huge show. Even for comparing the top,
but no, and I think we all have like an image, like what president or what the president should do.
President was
or
killed.
should act like.
I mean, William Henry Harrison had made very few errors in the 1 month he was in office, and he was in a coma most of the time. So
you shouldn't. Do you think any other president would post this kind of thing, or
no.
have this sort of thought, Drew? Like, okay, so I mean, like, I know that the argument is like, okay, well, what were the past presidents like? You know, what was the last good president? However, I don't think that should negate what the current president is dismantling by just being himself. You know?
Well, I mean, that's his style, and I don't think it's. I mean, I'm not cool with that kind of crap. I don't like it. I don't. I mean, at one point, I voted for him in spite of that stuff because
And I
the
think a
other.
lot of people like we all have
No,
to vote in spite of.
every politician that you vote for is something in spite of. I don't think there's any politician that's going to do everything that you like. I mean, it's either a lesser of two evils, lesser of three evils, or just vote.
Oh yeah, okay. If there's lesser of two or three evils, they're all evil. But the only times, I mean, I will go. I've voted before by not voting. I go into the booth when they still had them and pull the lever. Didn't vote for anybody. I'm registered there as having voted, and I'm basically expressing dissatisfaction with whoever was there. I also, when I was living in Chicago, they had the board of trustees at University of Illinois was on. They had candidates for those positions on the ballot. This is like in fall of '84, and I voted for. It was 3 spots were open. I voted for 3 communists. The board of trustees, University of Illinois, and I thought that was very important. Had nothing to do with politics. Had everything to do with what would they do with the athletic programs at U of I. Now, if what they did, for example, in football was emphasize a ground game and defense, then that would mean the United States didn't have to worry so much about what the Russians might want to do or what the Chinese might want to do. But if they started going for a long bomb passing game, see where I'm going on this? So there are different reasons for voting for people, and it can be, not necessarily in spite of.
No, but I mean, I feel like this is just kind of kicking it down the road to another president who's just going to see this and say, well, he got away with this, so I should too.
No, he's nuts and he's corrupt and he's senile. The thing is, when people say that he's the worst president we've ever had, I have to disagree. He has had 2 non-consecutive terms of office. He's the worst 2 presidents we've had. So I think that.
Oh, see, I didn't know that you were going to go there. I was about to look at Mark just,
Let him go.
not being a typical Democrat saying that Trump is the worst. No, I'm kidding. I know as soon as you say Trump is bad, though, you're just.
What are you, like Green Party or something like that?
I'm in
Anarchist? Are you anarchist?
No, I thought he was the chairperson of the Whig Party.
Is that what you were?
The Whigs went past me by a long time ago.
But they need to make a resurgence. The Whig Party, I think, would get.
No, I'm in Illinois now, so party affiliation is different from what it was when I was in Indiana. So
He's an Illinois Nazi.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
I've been at Democratic meetings. I worked at the election polls, Democratic Party worker. So I'm proud to do that. This is different from the Democratic Party in Indiana, which we can talk about on a different show because I have a lot to say. But it's like,
Well, did you guys know though? I rereading this tweet. I did want to point out that Democrats has the word dumb has a B in it, and I didn't know if you knew that or not, because Trump's again still making the genius level joke of calling everybody Democrats instead of Democrats, and
So you should they have been called Dumbocrats then? Because if you would put a B after that M, people would say Dumbocrats. So
I think that if you have to explain your joke, it's not landing.
He doesn't have to explain it. I got it right away.
No, but he explains it. He explains it at every function that he goes to.
Unless, of course, the joke itself is explaining the joke, because some people can do like a shtick, but he's not.
No, that's like that is like 5D chess comedian level. That's not Trump. Trump, I don't know what he actually laughs at other than other people's misery. I don't
Shade
know
and fruit.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was a word for the longest time. And watching people fall on ice is my favorite thing to do on YouTube.
Okay. Now there's pain and stuff to a certain degree in nearly every aspect of comedy. It goes over the edge, though, when, for example, Frank Burns was talking with Hawkeye and BJ about the little kid in the wheelchair down the street in Fort Wayne and how he flipped the wheelchair. BJ goes, Frank, that's awful. He goes, well, he's a little bastard or something like that. It's like, okay, well, see, there's pain in slapstick. There's disappointment. And good humor has that, but it's like in the context of it's not sick. I mean, the way it could be, but it's not. You're empathizing with the person who's going through the pain.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh wait, so Drew,
What is that?
You know more about the looks or like the maxing crowd, like
What?
maxing, you know, like looks maxing or height maxing or
I
really,
do.
like I mean I feel like we've talked about it at least before.
Well,
Not that you or I use this terminology. I feel that most people who learn about it think it's just cringy as hell, and everyone needs to stop doing it. However, like the Republicans have like leaned into it, especially in the state with like Max running for Secretary of State. I think there's a lot of everything's maxing.
There were a couple of the TPUSA kids that got a little bit extreme about going after Shelton and saying these horrible things about the pure romance parties that his wife had, which those aren't any big deal. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows
Yeah,
about a pure romance party. It's not porn.
marital aids, you know.
But
It's,
yet these were the same kids that were running around with Pressler for God knows. But then
what's wrong with Pressler?
nothing is wrong with Pressler. But if you're going to start accusing people of things, hey, does this apply to him but not for him? Just because this person has something that you need, is that why? Because I think the minute if let's just say if Pressler became not useful anymore, I'm sure that they would go after him for his her sexual preference or something like. So I just think that they show a double standard, but I really don't know what this maxing stuff is.
Oh, and my whole thing too is that this post specifically is from the Department of Education, and it is focused on civics and keeping that in mind as our country goes through the 250th birthday. And so Linda McMahon, wife of Vince McMahon, WWE guy, yeah, she put civics maxing, and the best part is that they keep getting like pretty much ratioed on these to where all of the responses are like laughing at them, instead of actually, liking it or loving it. Is this embarrassing for them, or do they just think like every click is a good thing?
As long as they spell their name right.
No,
I really don't know what that stuff is.
Well, no,
And
I just mean like,
I
do you think that they're doing a good job of like with social media? I guess I feel like the departments are getting a lot of pushback now.
They're not doing a good job at all with social media. They need to take Trump's phone away from him because he's his own worst enemy.
No, I totally agree. But I feel that Trump has actually impacted each of his departments too now, to the point where each department is just putting out nonsense crap. Like Hegseth is making cartoon videos on the Department of War website.
No, I'm sorry, Department of Defense. It's not being changed by an act of Congress the way it's supposed to be. So don't say Department of War.
Yeah, I don't think that Pete Hegseth should be using the Department of War's website for that.
No, but what is going to stop them?
Um,
Next election. Next election. That's what's going to stop them.
but it's
That's
not
the
simply
only
the
thing. That's the only thing. I mean, are the war powers resolution, didn't that pass?
Well,
it
it
passed.
did, and then it got defeated later on because Trump's.
He can veto it. All he has to do is veto it.
Okay. Because
Well,
I
but
mean,
they passed it though, or like the Senate went back in it and
Got through both, I think it got through both houses, but then that's meaningless unless it's veto proof, and they don't have that. So
is that the rules that he's trying to change? Then
no,
yeah, because he wants to filibuster. I think.
No, the filibuster's not in the House. He was referring to the House in that one statement.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and filibuster's in the Senate. But when you're looking at war resolution, the War Powers Act came in during the Nixon administration because what had happened in Vietnam and all these other absolutely absurd engagements with the military. Nobody foresaw somebody being so blatant about this as Trump is being. And that he has not exposed Democrats as communists. I'm sorry, I don't think you understand what communists.
Oh no, and that's the best thing. I was like it was on cue when Tommy commented on that. So Tommy Ice in the chat, thank you for this. Trump has exposed the Democrats as communists. Really, just right on cue with my little slideshow is yeah, Trump came out and said communists are finally making their move. I think I started hearing about the communist resurgence from like Purple for Parents and Micah Beckwith and what was that? Unified Carmel. They had an event at Micah's church, and they handed out all this material to read, and it was about there was something called the 53 points of the communist takeover, I think, and it was read into record. It was read into congressional record in like 1960 something, but it was about everything that the communists were ready to do to take over the U.S. And it was just right in that, Red Scare kind of timeline. And I hadn't seen anything like that since like a history book. And this was probably in 2021 that I went to this event.
Well,
and
but
so now,
yep. And just to be clear, I want to make sure people understand. I am a Marxist-Leninist. Of the Marx brothers, I thought Groucho was the most brilliant. He thought Chico was, but I really thought Groucho was. And as far as Lenin was concerned, I thought John Lennon was the best of the four Beatles. I'm a Marxist.
Oh, get out of here! Yeah,
I am.
Very nice. No, and so Tommy says Mamdami's the new face. I don't think the Democrats have a face. I don't know what they're going to do in 28 on really anything. But and how is he flaunting SCOTUS? Israel?
No.
The CIA did it. Come on, that's or no, Oswald did it from the sixth floor with 3 bullets. Okay, I went to Dealey Plaza pretty recently.
There were 4 shots.
That was an echo, though.
No, it wasn't. No,
Dealey Plaza.
He fired one. It was chambered already. Then went through the cycles, and then there were 2 shots from the grassy knoll and one from the storm cellar. Sure, whatever.
I don't know about that one. That's well, and I wanted to share
conservatory with the lead pipe. Okay.
I did want to share this one for Tommy just because I thought this was hilarious too. So you say that Mamdani is the face of the Democrats. This is from Babylon B, which they've just been killing it lately on. I feel like they're like the conservative Onion, but pretty damn funny too. And so this one says, the 2028 Democratic Party presidential nomination. Right now, the reflecting pool algae is ahead of Kamala, which I actually would kind of agree with. I think the algae has a pretty good shot right now. But I mean, it's only because the leftists are doing all that stuff anyways in the first place. So, there we go. Okay.
What's next? What's next? What's our next item here? Huh?
Well, no, and so this was Trump's tweet before he spoke at the Faith and Freedom thing. This is all about communism, okay? And I'm not going to read this because, like, it surprises me that he types ever this much material. But this is all about how communists are going to infiltrate the country. Communists are going to infiltrate the military. It's going to infiltrate everything about our way of life. And he is really trying to tie this into your religious liberty and say that, you know, unless you vote for Republicans, or I mean, if you vote for Democrats, you can basically kiss your religious liberty goodbye because it's going to be.
If you're a fundamentalist Christian, you're somebody else, then that's okay because the others are for you. But if you believe in Jesus Christ and God of the Old Testament, and you vote for a Democrat, you will be brought to hell or something like that. Sorry about that.
It's just as bad. Trump's just as bad as Democrats. Just as bad. I mean,
What?
if you disagree, he's just as bad as the Democrats. If you disagree with Trump, he calls you a communist. He calls you a rhino. He calls you every other name in the book. And that's right out of the Democrats' book. That's what they do. If you disagree with a Democrat, you're racist. They call you all sorts of right wing. They call you Nazi.
I'll actually come up
Yeah,
with
but
reasons
right wing
for that.
isn't an insult, though, Drew.
I'm gonna say that's a lot of extremists on both sides that do that shit. But I mean, Trump's right here is throwing down red meat to his, you know, to the far right wing. Cause I mean, but he's just as bad as the Democrats, man. They appeal to the extremists of their party.
No, they don't. If they did, they would have won in 24 completely. Then we would have had single payer in healthcare. We would have had a whole bunch of shit, and it wouldn't have been this, you know, kind of, well, we don't want to be too radical, and having Chuck Schumer sit there and clutching pearls and being worried about anything. My God.
Now wait, Drew, I had a but
yeah, that was
great. That was a great pick there, Drew. You got him.
I mean, that's like complaining about bananas when you're talking about oranges, Mark. That's what that's what that is. I compared the extremist Republican Party. Everybody that disagrees with Trump is called a commie or a rhino or a Democrat. Whereas, in my opinion, if somebody disagrees with a Democrat, they'll throw out the racist or the right wing or Nazi. And that's the extremists of both sides. I'm not talking about your rank and file Republican or your rank and file Democrat, but the extremists, that's what they do. They attack.
What about Jim Banks? What about Jim Banks?
What about him?
Is he a rank and file or is he an extremist? Like, as far as Republicans go, because Jim Banks is out here. He's another elected official from Indiana, and he's out saying communists are coming for the U.S. You know, he was on Fox News all week.
It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting.
But that's what I mean. Like, is he part of the?
They're afraid to lose power. They're afraid to lose power. So everything that they disagree with is communist. Look at what they did to Massey.
And so how is that when the Democrats say, like, well, you know, when you don't agree with us, it's XYZ, like
same way.
They're not in any position of power to hold anything. Like, they're not trying to convince you to
they're trying to hold on to power. That's the thing.
Do they have power? Like, where do Democrats have power? Like, when?
No. I mean, I was talking about the Republicans, how everything that they disagree with is communist or woke.
Yeah, leftist or woke.
The buzzwords. And the Democrats do the same thing when you disagree with them. It's nothing to do with power. It's all about disagreeing with them. One just happens to be in power now. But whenever one particular party is in power, they always demonize the other party, and the people get sick of it. And that's why the midterms usually change things around a little bit.
But why do we get along nicely? Because we're like in different points of political sides. So
Yeah, that's the politics isn't real life, man. Politics is not real life.
so how
And
does
Wait a
everybody
minute,
get?
hey, Brett, did you check your mail yet since you got back?
No.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, we get along great. We get along, we get along just fine.
See? No, and wait, I think I got one more on this one. Let me do. Oh yeah, and actually, this one was from today.
I'm sure Banks retweeted it.
Yeah,
I
and
bet
so communism is the greatest threat to our country
proud.
since world. It's not. I mean, I feel like he says, things like this all the time, and usually it's the southern border or illegal immigrants are the greatest threat. A lot of times it's Democrats are the greatest threat, and I think he's very. I mean, that's what he's been saying.
I don't think so. I don't.
No,
I don't
I this is just I've heard him say that the woke left is the worst thing and the greatest threat to our country.
I mean, most of the time they look dopey. Seriously.
Well, but how is radical Islam not or whatever we're facing in Iran? Like, how is that not the greatest threat if we're actually in there fighting?
We made it a threat. We made it a threat. We listened to a certain country over there about what we needed to do, and we were dragged into that. I don't believe that Iran was a threat in the first place. I don't believe we should have gone in there in the first place. But my opinion doesn't mean shit. But I have one.
Also, though, in terms of the communism, that's really kind of idiotic. And I'm going to say that as a conclusory statement, but I'll give support to it. That's why I am extreme left. I am in the Democratic Party here in Illinois, and I'm going to give reasons behind why I say it on his statement. Communism is the greatest threat to our country since World War I, World War II, and 9/11. Okay, one, there was no communist threat after World War I. The Bolshevik Revolution hadn't been finalized yet. That was communism giving kind of a rise. In terms of 9/11, those were people like what 17 of the 15 of the 19 hijackers were all from Saudi. None of them were communists. They all wanted to have some kind of say in their government. They get beheaded over there if they kind of try to protest. Here they could buy guns, get on jets, and kill people. And we were the ones giving their guys power. So it has nothing to do with communism. Trump knows less about politics than he does about econ, and his business prophet at UPenn said he was the dumbest goddamn student I ever taught. So that's kind of what you got to keep in mind. Communism is not in play right now. That's silly as shit, because when you look at what's going on right now, yeah, there are concerns. We've got to get not the huge difference in wealth, where the wealthy are pushing it all into fewer and fewer pockets. That's really, really bad historically. Instead, we have to make sure that they don't rig the rules. People get money more evenly dispersed, and also we have a decent education system instead of Christian madrasas.
Well, but that's it though. Like, Trump is in the position to say that this is the greatest threat. Like, and I mean, everything that you just talked about is likely a bigger threat than communism, but
I don't think at all.
But Trump is in office. He's the one setting the narrative now that communism is the greatest threat. So if
Winter writes books.
yeah, well, but that's it. We're all on the same side still, right? Or no? Aren't we celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States of America?
No, I disagree on that. Is that really the 250th birthday of the country? Or should that be measured from the date that The Constitution.
The Constitution. Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get, and it's up there with when people talk about, oh, well, we're a democracy, and then you got somebody says, no, we're a constitutional republic. Like both of those documents, like the Declaration and the Constitution, I feel were just our founding documents, and
They are founding documents.
You can't. And I know that we had like a little time between those two written documents, but I feel like this whole celebration should be a chance for us to like reunite and love our country and figure out what makes us great, instead of saying, hey, anybody who's voting for a Democrat is basically a communist, and the communists are the greatest threat to our country. You're basically declaring like an abstract war on half of your country.
Also, I was going to make sure that I address this. The Bears did not leave Chicago because of the extreme left. They left Chicago because of the extreme horrors in the Indiana General Assembly, willing to give corporations anything they want as long as they relocate to Indiana. And that's worked out so well. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
And I don't think there's a deal yet anyway, is there? On the Bears?
No, and they're going to keep just teasing each
They're
other.
not going to leave Chicago.
Well, but that's it.
Who wants them anyway?
That's again. My favorite thing about concerts is just the meeting of the new people. Like the card just next to me at the Dave Matthews concert last night, they ended up being from Northwest Indiana, and they grew up in a town over from where I lived, and it was hilarious. We were talking about the Bears moving. We were talking about all of this stuff, and we did bring up the fact that the Arlington Heights site in Chicago, for the Bears in Illinois, is actually farther away from Chicago than the Indiana site. Like Northwest Indiana is going to be so much closer to Chicago than where the Bears would move in Arlington Heights.
Yes, that is true.
How does that make any sense? You're not even in Chicago anymore then still.
Yeah, but the thing was tragic about the later years of the NFL. When I was living in Chicago, the Detroit Lions sucked, absolutely sucked. And it was cheaper for people to drive over to Chicago, get hotel rooms in Detroit, and actually they'd be in Pontiac, they wouldn't go in Detroit, see a game there, watch the Bears play the Lions and come back, than to try to see any game at Soldier Field. And that was when they were decent. They had, they hadn't.
No, and I think so many teams are still like that though, Mark. Like I would go see, you can get cheaper tickets to like a Yankees game at like Cincinnati than you could, seeing like a game at Yankee Stadium.
That's true. Yes.
But also the whole thing about subsidizing professional sports with public money is absurd, and that is something as antithetical to capitalism or free market as there possibly could be. Because
that was the funniest thing too, because when we were talking about the stadiums, I was on the side of like me and the guy that I met at the concert. We were talking about stadiums, and he was on the side of the city giving as many like concessions to the team. And I'm like, and I was like, dude, they were like freaking billionaires. Like they could build their own stadium. But it was just funny to talk with people at that show because we all had different backgrounds. We didn't have, similar thoughts on everything, but we all watched the show. We all had a great time. Again, like things unite us way more than they divide us. And it's not the communists' fault. Yes, is what I'm trying to say. So let's go over to another of the can we agree? Because I like this one. Let's do okay. Let me get this thing off here. Drew, what do you think about Ken Burns, the documentary guy?
Wonderful.
Wonderful? Okay.
Yeah.
Mark,
talented.
What is your
Talented. Just yes. The question, yes. Ken Burns is a trusted journalist, documentarian. Yes, I can agree to that.
okay, Mark? What about?
Everything I've seen that he's done, I think is remarkable. When he goes through baseball, that was fantastic. Doing the Civil War was very well documented. I think he went through Prohibition, and that was a show you could do shots to, So I think he's brilliant.
Well, I found a clip there. There was he got interviewed by Vice a little while ago, and they asked him a question about, how would he do a documentary on like current events. And so we're going to share this here.
Of 20 minutes of your daughter, or to Ken Burns of 20 years from now, what are they going to look back at today, and what films are they making and saying this is the defining moment of this time?
It's hard to know, Shane, because I think we've really passed over this step, not of no return. It's all returnable. But where you have a large segment of the population that can sit, for example, I just recently today rewatched the president's interview on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker last Sunday, or it was, I guess, taped before that and then played on Sunday, in which he walked out.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen, we
press.
traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
But his insistence that the people who themselves pleaded guilty to felonies and were sentenced to 10, 15 years in jail or a couple of years or paid lots of fines and have records, over 1,000 people who were adjudicated individually by juries and a judge and prosecutors and defense attorneys, that they were all railroaded. It never really happened. Unbelievable crimes, he said, were committed against them.
They've lost their jobs, they've lost their families, they've lost their wives, they've lost everything. They've lost everything over a fake weaponization of government.
We have a huge segment of the population that believes that water isn't wet, and that's a scary thing. And I think we're going to have to, as I was suggesting earlier, I mean, when people tell me, what are we going to do? I said, just get out of the wormholes, the rabbit holes that you follow down in social media all the time. Like, I'm not on it. Like, somebody, I guess, does post Instagram stuff. I've never been on Facebook. Somebody else, maybe PBS maintained. I don't know. Never been on Twitter or now X. I've never done any of this stuff. My kids do that. I'm doing okay, right? I read the Washington Post and I read the New York Times and I read the Wall Street Journal, and I seem to be fairly versed in what's happening in the world.
I could talk to you for 46 hours.
Okay.
We're not going to put all 46 hours on there. I have a couple questions. Specifically his last part.
I got some questions too.
Like, when he says that we have half the population that says that water isn't wet, or that thinks that water isn't wet. You're shaking your head. Like, I wanted to ask you about that.
He was trying to equate those people think that water isn't wet to the people, to the January 6ers. I mean, that's what he was talking about right before then. And that's just not right. That's I mean, when I think of Ken Burns, I think of a baseball writer, documentarian. And when these people start getting into politics, it kind of ruins their other stuff. I'll use Keith Olbermann as a good example.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gone off deep and worse than you had. And I think that I hate to see Ken Burns going down this path. But
well, I think it was with the question though. It was like, how would you try to? Because I think that's a very difficult thing that we're in right now is trying to figure out a way to even document this, because there are people that think that everything's very nuanced now, and it's difficult, I think, to trap that in. But I think Ken Burns' documentaries, they've all been kind of political. Like when he did Vietnam, like he didn't shy away from things that would make America look bad. You know, it's just documenting what this was. So yeah, Mark, what did you think about the clip, I guess?
Well, Burns, when he's talking about the change in the country, I agree with him. And I think when he's talking about people who don't believe water is wet, I from what I've seen and read of his, I don't think that he's talking about people on the left. So I think that's kind of a direction from which he's coming. I also think that what we're looking at right now is a time in which, if I'm very concerned that we won't have elections in November. I'm very concerned that those are going to be cut off in some way. And I can tell you from having looked at the records in the past that that election was chopped in 2016 and was in 2024 too. And so Trump,
but just not 2020. But just not 2020, right? Is that what you're saying?
2020, they didn't have it all together as well. We can go through the facts on
so,
that.
So, I mean, dude, you're saying 2016 was fixed, but 2020 was.
Let me finish.
Was.
Hang on. Wait, where's the?
Gotta look at
Mark, go ahead. Yeah, finish up.
Okay. When I hear what he's saying about that, and he's put facts together, especially like Vietnam, you're looking at years of history there. People today are more inclined to just give like a 30-second response. We were right. They don't consider all of the facts involved or all the history. And part of the problem is our education system was hacked up. People don't learn history. People don't learn all the things that were going on. You're not supposed to. And so I hear Ken Burns, I think he's brilliant as a journalist. I'll disagree with some of the things that he said, but not a lot of them. And when you look at where he's putting things in context of our history, baseball is very political too. The Reconstruction actually is working. Do you know they had baseball was integrated in the time after the Civil War? It wasn't until the deal was cut for Rutherford B. Hayes to take the White House again in the election of 1876, and he in return pulled the federal troops out of the South, that all of a sudden Reconstruction wasn't working so well. Well, it had been.
And then I did want to show this because Drew commented back on this. Mark is an election denier. And then Drew shot back with this lovely little one. Only the election's his side loses, which sounds like something Trump would say, to be honest. Like every time that it sounds like a Republican thing. Like if they lose the election, it was rigged. If they win,
hey, Bud, that's
exactly
what Mark. His side lost.
How is it not like what Trump does? Like he says that every time that there's an election.
They do. He's an idiot.
Like every time.
Trump is an idiot.
Yes.
We also had evidence before the United States Supreme Court.
We need to clip that, Drew. I'm going to clip that. I'm going to play it over and over in my head.
Trump is an idiot?
Yeah. I do think that more people need to be vocal about that. It's just we're listening to him tell us that communism is going to be the downfall. Like,
I'm sorry,
this isn't going to get better before.
It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting.
Well, Mark, I did want to ask you.
Both sides gaslight. Both sides gaslight.
Absolutely. I do want to ask though, because I think Drew and I kind of have at what point in this summer, I guess, do you think that the election will be like called off or something?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Elections aren't going to be called off.
No. Like, because Drew, all I'm saying is because like anytime that Mark has said, I'm afraid that there might not be elections in November of this year, I look over at you and you're kind of shaking your head or making a number, but I just want to know like what steps do you think are going to lead to that?
I mean, whatever internal polling they have is kind of irrelevant at this point because they're seeing all the numbers really drop for them. But also, I think there are things we're not saying. For example, the United States military has never had a say in what the outcome of an election has been. That's characteristic of a dictatorship or an unstable government. Our military is different. They're professionals who take an oath to the Constitution, not to any individual. I think when you're seeing Trump try to throw people out in as general officers, be they admirals or generals, who are women or who aren't white, and that's what Hegseth has been doing when he's been sober or not. Those are signs of them being afraid of what military would do and standing up to them. I think that's one crucial thing. You could see a lot of things happen real fast. I'm scared of the whole situation, but also we've been very fortunate in a lot of ways. But I'll be glad to, Drew, if you want to do this, we can go through all 3 elections next week. Be glad to do it. It was pretty clear.
Honestly, I'll tell you the truth, man. Well, one of them was 10 years ago, one of them was 6 years ago, and one of them was 2 years ago. I mean, I've seen people arguing ad nauseum about this election is fixed and that election is fixed. And I'm sorry, Mark. I hear Republicans saying 2020 was fixed, and I hear Democrats saying 2016 and 2024 was fixed. I could really give a crap less about either one of the arguments for it because, frankly, it's not going to change anything. There's so many more things we could talk about.
No, what we had for evidence of 2016 were statements by Trump, McConnell, Ryan, and Pence. We had a congressional act that said it was hacked. We had the numbers; those were all there. So they were people from the Republican Party acknowledging it. The Republicans.
No, I think we should do like a deep dive into the last like 16, 20, and 24. I think
I agree.
Like that would be a great because again, I feel like this summer coming up too with everything with the election and the midterms, we're gonna have some fun looking back on previous elections to see what all the fun that was had. I did actually want to ask Tommy Ice he has a question. Does a dictator ignore SCOTUS rulings like Mamdani? I got to look more.
It actually did, you dumbass.
No, and I have to look more into what Mamdani or what Mamdani is actually ignoring, I guess. And we could do a whole show on Tina Peters. I'm fine with that, Tommy. Because
what about the coffee shop in New York that refused to serve the AIPAC politician? Did y'all see that one?
No. What was that?
There was a coffee shop in Brooklyn, either Brooklyn or the Bronx. I'm not 100% sure.
There's a difference.
Yeah,
there is. They're different.
No,
boroughs.
but yeah.
I believe it was Brooklyn. Somebody in the chat, if we've got anybody in there, will probably know which coffee shop I'm talking about. But so anyway, this I think his congressman that lost in the primary, he went in there with his kid, and they got their coffees and everything and left, and the coffee shop refunded his money with a note saying that they didn't want to take any of AIPAC's filthy money. And they've been getting all sorts of, it's very reminiscent of the bakery that didn't want to participate in the gay wedding. And there are people that are cheering for the coffee shop are the same folks that are they were wailing about the bakery that wouldn't bake the wedding cake for the gay couple. I mean, really, really funny, the selective outrage out of both sides about certain issues. When
You're
in
trying.
reality, the bakery had the right to refuse service, and so did this coffee shop.
Okay, I'll be
No,
glad to
yeah,
discuss that in
yeah.
greater depth. But if one had the right to refuse service, the one in Brooklyn didn't refuse service. They returned the money, didn't they?
Yes, they
Well, then,
refused to take it.
So
well,
they still
so
got
hey,
their
They
coffee.
didn't know that. They did not. They still got their coffee, and they did not. It's my understanding that they did not know, or at the time, realize who it was, and then they refunded his money. I'll have to go back. The
I
story.
mean, if anything, like I would say that the coffee shop is even more noble for serving said
sure,
person
then so we don't want any money.
and then refunding the money. You know,
No, no. I think that I don't think they're more noble at all. I think it's their right. I mean,
yeah.
they're gonna, but I mean, if they knew it right, that's really not refusing service to them. That's refunding their money, and that's not really noble, because if you want to call it noble, they should have refused service right away. They should have said, "Hey, and that too would have been their right." And
But
that's
that would have
over.
been mean. You know.
The world is mean, bud.
Oh, that's
World's a
horrible,
mean
man.
world's a mean place, and
Yeah,
that
it
would have been
doesn't have to be though. We're all nice people. Like, don't we all get along on stuff?
we we are nice. I don't
Yeah.
know how many people think I'm nice, but
I think you're great. Drew,
thank, thank
I
you,
think you're
thank you.
great.
But yeah, I mean, it's their right. They if they, I personally, I think it was pretty stupid to give the guys money back. I mean, it's money, but
I mean, it makes it a story though, because like if you don't give the money back and you just bitch about it, then all that really happened was somebody came in and got a coffee and paid for it. That's it.
When
Like,
someone
how is
here
that
says,
even fucking news? Like, it's
what
just
about the City Market cookie shop? Well, I think a bigger story on that is where's City Market now? I mean,
what city
they
market cookie?
had to rebuild it, right?
What's that all about?
Well, there's City Market. There was a cookie shop that refused to do like a gay event, and so
And
like
that's their
City
right.
oh,
Market,
that was the bakery, right? That was the bakery that
there's a cookie
was that
shop
the bakery that yeah, okay.
in the City Market, which once they put the criminal justice campus or whatever they're calling it 2 miles away or whatever, decimated downtown. And so I think a more important question we've got for like how the city functions is who the hell allows this development to happen, especially in Marion County. And when you ask about the Green Party a while ago, the Green Party, I've said for years, runs Marion County, and it has nothing to do with the environment. It has everything to do with money. And so they had the city county building was vital to downtown. All those people who are working there would go to City Market for lunch and everything. That was when I first moved here or moved there. I'm in Illinois now. When I first moved to Indianapolis, I was surprised how dead downtown was. And then over the years, it really picked up. Well, who the hell got the idea of moving that campus out there unless they owned land out there and could sell it to the city so they could develop on it? And that has nothing to do with the well-being of the city and everything to do with the green that they want. And that probably is a bigger story for the future of Indianapolis and Indiana.
Well, here, we got like about 10 minutes left, so I want to go into my the book that I got from it's the new one about the Trump administration. It's called Regime Change: Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump by Maggie Haberman.
Wow.
New York Times reporter. Of course, Trump doesn't like the New York Times. And that was another thing too, before we get started on this. The Ken Burns thing, wrapping up on that. He talked about how he's not on social media and he's not on this or that, and that he gets his news from the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, and the New York Times. And I was expecting like Tommy Ice in the chat to be like, "Oh, those woke rags." Like, who? Like, do you think that actually like helps Ken Burns' case that he's not on all these social media platforms and that he's still using like print media to get his information? I guess like, Drew, do you think those three things that he mentioned, like the three newspapers, like if you only got your news from that, is that biased? Or
I can certainly see where somebody would think that, absolutely. But I mean, I try to go to a variety of places, and like
totally,
if I see a story, I mean, it doesn't matter where I see the story. If it's something that I'm like, wow, is that true? I can do my own research on it, and you can, even these what you might call the left leaning publications, like the ones that you mentioned. I mean, they're still have their op-eds are obviously mostly going to lean one way, but they still have some. I mean, even if the story is leaning one way, you can usually sift through the bull crap and find the story. And I'll say the same exact thing about a Fox News or something like
yeah.
that. The other way, you
Well,
can.
it's like double checking like the sources, like making sure
Yeah,
that it's not
yeah,
just a single source. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, trust but verify. I mean, trusted
No.
enough to verify it.
Yes. Mark, what about you? Like, do you think because we talked about print a
We
little
did
bit
before.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wall Street Journal is owned by Murdoch. Okay. Washington Post owned by Jeff Bezos.
Mhm.
A lot of people have quit or been fired because they disagreed with his moving far right wing views. New York Times has been moving right wing. I don't know who the ownership is. When you're saying, well, they've got this bias going left, everybody believes the media have a bias towards going left. These specific sources don't. And in fact, it's Haywood Broun in the 1930s was a journalist. Somebody said, "Why are the media biased towards big business?" He said, "The media are big business. They're always going to be right wing." And when you look at somebody who's being left wing, and you say, "Well, why are they left wing?" Well, we try to study the facts. Murdoch, Bezos don't. So when he's talking about having these newspapers, those being his sources, I'm interested to see what else he looks at, because I'm fairly confident that there's other stuff that he looks at. Those might be the main papers he looks at during the morning or something. But it's even then when you're looking at a daily paper. I remember being in Baltimore one time on a trip and seeing the
I'm
Baltimore Sun. And this is like in 89 or 9, no, it's 90 or 91. Baltimore Sun was a
dude.
fantastic paper. It was like a real daily paper, like the
Would that be
Star
the
used to be.
Baltimore Sun? Would that be the
Yeah,
Baltimore Sun?
H.L. Mencken wrote with that, back in the day. Went to Florida, and I was St. Petersburg, and they actually had thick newspapers that are decent dailies, but that's because the demographic is all people who are older who want to see the old stuff. And that means a daily paper. So
And have
a
it
daily,
actually in your hand. Like
yes, yes,
because it's the same difference with like library books versus
yes.
like ebooks. It's like it's a completely different. You got it in your hand. It's like a tangible object.
And sitting under a tree with an apple and reading a book, there's nothing that can kind of compare to that.
No, totally. And Tommy Ice, thank you for the question. Has Maggie listed sources or unidentified sources? And I wanted to go to this video clip of Maggie in a in an interview here. So let's go check that out.
White House, just a
Hang on. I hate this thing. Get out of here, Ken Burns.
Detroit. Why is he wearing a Detroit shirt?
I thought that was Michael J. Fox for real.
Nah, he's not moving around that much. That's
Well, there's a photo, not a video.
oh, good.
It looks like it, bro.
Again, we're not going to discuss sourcing, including their speculation that we've seen out there. But look, we were surprised that the vice president told Megyn Kelly really that the reporting was so accurate. And we have not yet had the White House say that anything is incorrect here. It doesn't mean they won't at some point. The book comes out tomorrow. But we worked really hard to make sure that this was accurate and that we were delivering the most accurate first draft of history that we could. And so, yes, that to have the only comment we have had from the White House so far be this is accurate reporting. We agree.
No, and that's a big part. So, JD Vance went on Megyn Kelly's podcast, I guess, and he didn't dispute the sources or the information that was in the book, and he actually made the claim that they might have recordings of White House tapes because the information in this book has been vetted. In the book, Tommy, I do want to kind of, I'll read just a clip because it says, on March 16th, the president sat with us for an hour and answered our questions. We presented him with accounts of sensitive scenes and private dialogue, including his own interactions with foreign leaders, and he engaged at length, largely without disputing our reporting, though he pushed back on a few specific points. We then sent detailed follow-up emails to his staff that gave the White House extensive visibility into our reporting and every opportunity to respond. And that was in March. And so everything that's been in this book hasn't been disputed by the White House so far. And this is the same one too that when I think it was last week, I showed like the clip from the New York Times talking about them all meeting in the Situation Room to talk about Epstein. And yeah, that's part of this book. This is all, and I like the way that Maggie spoke about this too, that it's a first draft of this history. In reading this book, what I've noticed is it's so difficult to actually even pin down a time frame on this stuff, because I feel like we've just been like hit with wave after wave of like, oh well, this shit now, and then this shit, and then this, and then you don't even get a chance to like sit and look at what this administration has been so far, and it's easy to like let everything kind of go by, you know.
What category is the book?
On nonfiction, just yeah, it's just straight up nonfiction. And then I did want to post
how bad?
No, and that's what I mean. Like there are quotes in here, and they discuss like the difference between using quotes that can be verified versus you know, hearing something that somebody said but they couldn't remember the exact quote. Like, and they explain all this before you start reading everything. So I did want to share this part. This is from today as well. Donald Trump, his last Truth Social about this, based on a very quick and boring briefing concerning the Maggot Hagerman book about me. It is mostly made up, fake news, largely fiction. And again, does Trump like suing people? Like, just out of curiosity, like if you wrote something with misinformation about Trump, would he try to sue you for defamation?
No, he'd sue you if even it's true, because he learned that from Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn told him, Roy Cohn was a vicious bastard, said, sue everybody, be aggressive at him. You know, and that was about it.
Oh, and Tommy, this is not all from one interview. That meeting in March was basically to present Trump with the entire book and all of their findings to say, would you like to, you know, dispute any of these? So like their reporting has been over the entire time. They've sat with him for several interviews and stuff. And that's another thing too, is like he's aware of these people. Maggie, this is not the first book Maggie's written about him either. But you know, he does the same thing where, you know, says that she's a third-rate writer and
Called her
intellect.
maggot. He misspelled it wrong.
Oh wait, which one? Like her name?
Maggot. Maggot is maggot, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, he misspelled maggot.
Well, I mean, you know, this was at 12:22 a.m. So we can't
And then
really.
punctuation wise, shouldn't that have been the Maggot Hagerman book about me? Period. It is mostly made up, fake news. I mean,
I
his
love this, Drew. You can, yeah, man, go to town
punctuation.
on this.
No, I mean it hurts to look at it. I mean,
But
it's
this is the leader of our country. Like, what? This is what we voted for.
I
Go
didn't.
America. No, but that's another thing too, Mark. Like, we are here. Like, we're part of the country. He is our president, and like whether or not we, like, I mean, we don't like it, or like I don't like it, but we, the United States, elected him, and I don't know how the hell we did that. Even though I personally didn't,
Mark.
but like,
There's a peer review article that appeared in Science, I think it was Science or Nature, like 2 months ago, showing ways in which the algorithms were switched in 2024. That's peer reviewed. We can talk about it next week, but I'm telling you, that's what occurs. This is swiped.
the algorithms.
Yes.
oh, we're
So people were persuaded to vote.
No. Okay. I'll tell you what, Drew.
no, but
we
they're
can talk about
shown
it next
certain
week.
information and not shown certain information. Like,
But also in the voting machines themselves too.
Okay.
well,
Okay.
and let's. I want to end with this last one from Tommy Ice because he's been so great about this.
Thanks for
His
hanging
comment-
in.
Yeah, the WNBA refs are DEI.
They're horrible.
They
They're
are
horrible.
horrible. Like Caitlin Clark, the WNBA needs like a whole audit on what the hell they're doing. So, all right. So yeah, next week we'll get into some other topics and stuff. But yeah, Mark, any final words?
No, just that I'm in black and white tonight.
I like that. I thought Drew. I was waiting for Drew to be like, "Wait, is that just like how it looks around you?" Kind of a
Can
thing.
be.
So, we might actually be doing a live show, everybody, in a month from now, in Illinois. We might have to go away from Indiana to do this because I don't know if it's legal with Braun here. So, but yeah, Drew, any other last thoughts?
No. I just got back from Florida yesterday.
Did you get any, like, what about the seafood in Indiana? Has it been to your likings?
I don't really eat seafood here. And the restaurant that I wanted to go to is closed now. We talked about this.
Well, no, I just meant since you've been back, though. Like, I didn't know. Because I know when Jerry left and came back, he was, like, hankering for seafood.
I don't really eat a whole hell of a lot of seafood to begin with, only sushi.
Ugh.
So yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, everybody, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next week. Sweet. All right.